Hello again, folks. I just wanted to make another update video on the new Ninja 500 SE. And now that the honeymoon period is over, some more updates for anybody who's thinking about owning this bike long term. And a couple questions I see posted a lot are, is the bike beginner friendly? So first off, let's start with that. Everything about the bike is beginner friendly. The power rating, in my opinion, 51 horsepower. It's enough power that you can pass people. If you're in a dangerous situation where someone's kind of looking like they might be a drunk driver weaving around, or a truck, you can pass them, you can get out of danger. So to me, having an adequate power level is a safety feature. So right off the bat, it's enough. At the same time, if you whiskey throttle the bike a little bit, you're not going to send it into a massive wheelie. Just take the MSF course. Take the MSF course, ride it, learn the bike, learn clutch control, learn brake control, learn throttle control, and you'll be fine on most things. Just make sure you get a bike that is the size and the weight that is appropriate to you. So as far as, is this a good first bike? If you have the money to go buy brand new, and if that amount of money doesn't affect you at all, then absolutely go buy brand new. You don't have to deal with figuring out if it has any problems, obviously. Sure, I would recommend that. I would, now that I've had, the 2 years, so I'm a newer rider myself, which sometimes I find getting advice from someone who's, maybe just a couple years ahead of you instead of 20 years ahead of you can be helpful. I would say just get a used bike. If you can find a used Ninja 400, even better. I don't feel that the difference between the Ninja 400 and 500 certainly is big enough to do an upgrade. I don't think so, and I think the bikes are similar enough that it's going to be the same experience overall. I would also say, if you're buying one of these brand new, I only bought the SE version because of the livery. I love 90s Super Sports, and this livery, I had to have it. That's why I bought it. If I were to do it again, I'd probably save my $1,200, because like I've mentioned in earlier videos, all that you're really getting here is, other than the livery, is the key pass and the TFT screen, which, it looks it's a good looking screen, sure, but it's not something I think that I would really care about that much. After owning the bike for a while, you're getting the same engine, you're getting the same transmission, brakes, and everything else. So it's just some features that you're getting that I probably would skip if it wasn't that I love the livery so much. So absolutely beginner friendly. Seat height, weight, braking, everything about this, keep in mind, this whole bike is designed to be beginner friendly. Having said that, there's something weird about the bike community I find coming from the car community that's kind of strange, is they'll call it like a beginner bike, as if, if you've been riding for a long time, this is beneath you. It's strange to me because, I've driven really powerful cars. I've owned very powerful, fun cars, but I also love driving a Miata. So there's nothing wrong with, getting a slightly lower powered but lighter weight bike like this. Having said that, I don't think I would have gone new again, just because they hold their value so well. Shopping for the aftermarket, not the aftermarket warranty, but the factory warranty. I was talking to a mechanic at Kawasaki, and he basically said, I've seen, over his 10 years he's been there, he's seen like 2 baby Ninjas that have had any significant engine issues that wasn't user error. Try that with a lot of other manufacturers. I don't think you'd probably have the same answer. He said they're bulletproof. Don't waste your money on an extended warranty. So I didn't. So I'm not going for that. Having said that, even with this, the slip-on for a little bit more exhaust sound, I mentioned that in the previous video, it is a bit louder. It does look cooler. It saves weight, all that stuff. It's always going to be a parallel twin, and I think I'm really, really missing my Fireblade, not for the power, but for the sound, for the smoothness. In the higher RPMs, you do feel that buzziness. You do feel that in the grips, and you feel that in the pegs. And the exhaust, I didn't mention this, I think, in the last video. The exhaust does make it, I would say, significantly more noticeable to have the any slip-on, anything that's a bit louder. The factory exhaust, I think what they went for is a smoother sound, quieter, yes, but also just to smoothen the bike, so it takes a lot of the vibrations out. With a slip-on, you're going to feel more vibrations in your pegs. You're going to feel them in the grips. Overall, it will be buzzier, which is a problem with lower cc parallel twins. That's the whole reason I got rid of the KTM Duke 200 I had, was I couldn't stand the buzziness of the single cylinder. And that slip-on, now that I've had time to like push the bike and rev it all the way out and everything, I've realized there was something that they were trying to achieve with the factory exhaust, which was smoothness. It's not loud enough, I would argue, but the sound was very smooth and it eliminated a lot of the vibrations. Putting a slip-on like this, I feel it almost immediately. I don't know if I would say I have any regrets. I'm curious. I wish I could have test driven the RS457, but there's no Aprilia dealers near me. So if I had any issues with the bike, I'd have to, ride far away to get it serviced. And being that bike is all new and made in a manufacturing plant that hadn't made bikes before, I just wasn't confident enough to get the 457. So I think what I'm doing now is I'm kind of shopping for a 90s Super Sport again. I love the screamers of the 90s, those 4-cylinder screamer bikes with the crazy loud colors, like this one. So I don't think I will keep this bike for forever. I think I'll keep it for the rest of the season and probably some next year. But if I can find a good condition, either older Fireblade or, a nice ZX7 from the 90s, I'll probably end up going that route, just because there is a lack of refinement in parallel twins, in my opinion, as a new rider. Again, take all of this with a grain of salt, as I am a newer rider and it's all personal taste. You may ride this bike and feel like you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's smooth for you. I just feel like it lacks something to it, that these 90s bikes, that these high revving Super Sport 4-cylinders and triples, that they have for whatever reason, it doesn't give me the butterflies to ride that the old Fireblade did. And it's not the power. It really, truly is the sound. That's kind of worth mentioning, I think. If it's your first bike and you have the money, and if you lose $2,000-$3,000 on depreciation and that doesn't bother you, then go for it. Especially if it's a commuter. This is an excellent commuter bike. I'm doing less than 4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is Prius figures. I think in miles per gallon, I would think you could do 60 plus miles per gallon if you ride reasonably, especially with my fancy stickers that make the bike go so faster. I don't have anything really. It's nothing about the bike and me is the bike's fault. Now that the honeymoon period is over, that's why I kind of wanted to get back and just give an update, because everyone's excited when they get a brand new bike. It's perfect. It's great. I'm never going to sell it. We all know the story. And then fast forward a year and they're on Kijiji or Auto Trader or whatever classified is looking for a new one. It's a great bike for the money. If you're going to keep it, sure. But if it's your first bike, I'm in that Goldilocks period where I've had a single cylinder, I've had a V-twin, inline 4, parallel twin. There's a few configurations left, but the only engine that I really miss is that inline 4. So if you have the money, if money really isn't an issue for you, just go for the ZX4. I think that's a bike that you could probably keep forever because it's adequate power. Yes, this one actually, for whatever reason, apparently this one has quite a bit more torque. Apparently, down low is what I'm hearing. So it's more get off the line a little bit easier. You don't have to rev it out for everything. I haven't ridden a ZX4 yet, but I would imagine that the ZX4 is everything this bike is and much more. So if you have the money, go for a ZX4. If you don't have the money, I wouldn't go brand new. That's probably my advice for beginners. The power level is adequate. Like I said, the whole bike is designed for beginners to be able to jump on and move up the Kawasaki range. The livery still looks good to me. I mean, just that classic 90s Kawasaki look to it is awesome. But yeah, if you can find one of these used, save yourself a couple grand, and then when you decide maybe the next season I don't want to keep the bike anymore, maybe for the same reason I did, maybe for a different one, or maybe you want to keep it. Either way, you would lose even less money. So I would give that for advice. The TFT screen is, again, it's cool to have, but I don't think when you're riding, you're really appreciating it. These features are something that in the dealership that are very cool, and they are convenient. The keyless start is awesome. I keep my key in my pocket. I don't have to think about it. The screen is very legible, no matter how bright it is outside. That's very good. But they're just, I would say keep your $1,200 and put that towards the next bike, which would probably be the ZX4 if you're staying in the Cowie family. or something older. In my case, I'm looking for, you know, a 1990s CBR 600, something with the crazy purple livery. I'll update on a video if I pick up one of those. But just some advice now that the honeymoon period is over. Still like the bike, but I know that I'm not going to keep it forever. I don't love the bike. It's still great. I think it's very competitive in the segment. It's, in my mind, it's between this and the RS457. I don't. The R3 is a little bit long in the tooth now. To buy new, I would buy one of those used, but to buy it new at full price, it's a little bit too long in the tooth. I think it makes a little bit less power than these bikes do. So it's, in my mind, you know, RC390's out just because single cylinder doesn't work for me. But I think between the RC390 and this, that's really your only competition. And I don't think you can go wrong either way. So don't lose too much sleep over which one you pick. But best of luck to anybody looking. If there's any questions about it, about ownership, cost of ownership, just shoot me a message in the comments there. I'll try and get back to you. Good luck shopping, and just stay safe. Just be smart, stay safe. Don't do anything stupid on the bike. Again, whether you're on a small CC bike or you are on that CBR 900 RR at a red light, if someone's doing something and runs a red light, you know, it doesn't matter what bike you're on. Just have the self-control to not do anything stupid on the bike, stay alive, and stay safe. That's the most important thing. But I'll get back to you guys if you have any questions. Good luck.